Alright, this is the top 3 mistakes beginners make in the gym. Avoiding these mistakes can 2 times your progress in the gym. So let's say your goal is to lose fat, and in 3 months you burn 2 pounds of fat. If you're doing some of the mistakes in this video and you avoid them, you could double that. So you could lose 4 pounds of fat. So that's a significant difference. You could gain 10 pounds of muscle if you're gaining 5 pounds of muscle usually. So it can make your progress really fast. So subscribe and join the free Discord server if you are on self-improvement. So I have a free Discord server for young men exactly like you on self-improvement, discuss all things relating to testosterone, muscle, habits, everything like that. So go join it if you haven't already. Why should you listen to me? Well, I went from a complete newbie with small arms and a massive belly to someone with a decent body in the span of 1.5 years, and I'm 15 years old. So as you can see here, this was exactly 1.5 years ago. And this is, I think, when I hit my first ever workout. Not my first ever workout, but one of my first main workouts where I really pushed myself. It's funny, the reason why it looks like tiny bit I have abs outline is because when I'm in the beach, I'll crunch over like this. And then my belly rolls will be 1, 2, 3. You understand what I'm talking about. And then the sun will hit there and it wouldn't hit the other parts. So that's why it gave the illusion that I have a tiny bit of an outline of abs when I never fucking did. Like I said, I don't lie, my clavicles were really narrow. So a lot of people start in the gym with a perfect frame. They have wide shoulders, slim waist. As you can see, I had the complete opposite. And then fast forward now, way better chest, better shoulders, better biceps, better everything. I'll help you have a similar transformation. Mistake number 1 is ego lifting. Ego lifting refers to the practice of lifting weights that are too heavy for one's current strength level, often to impress others or to boost one's self-esteem. Now, you know what I'm talking about, that one guy who could only deadlift 60 kg and he's going ahead and trying 100 when he's with his friends. So, maybe you've tried that, I'm not saying that's bad, but ego lifting consistently has a lot of downsides. Now, for example, let's say me, I could bench 80 kg. I'm on the barbell. I bench 80 for one, and I barely do it, and I feel my spine. That's technically ego lifting. Unless you're trying your 1 rep max, maybe once a month, that's fine. But if you're testing your PR for the 5th time of the week, then you're just clearly lifting for your ego or to impress others that are with you. That's why most of the time when you're alone, you do less weights. Almost every single person who starts out in the gym does ego lifting. What happens is they do very heavy weights with incorrect form. And I used to do this a lot. I will do incline dumbbell press. I'll be pushing. I push, but I feel my spine. This makes it way harder for you to target the muscle that you actually did the exercise for. So, for example, if you're doing bench press to target your chest and you feel your spine, then clearly something is going wrong. It's either too heavy or you're doing bad form, or it's just probably both. You also run the risk of getting injured. As you can see here, this shit happens a lot. I know it's like a meme, people doing squat and they fall over. This shit happens a lot. I've seen this in the gym, but I've mainly seen it in the squat and deadlift. Bench press, you got someone to spot you, is a lot easier. But these main compound exercises is where a lot of people get injured just because they want to impress their friends or just fucking prove their ego, which is fucking bullshit in my opinion. Because you're going to the gym to have a better body. But whatever. It is very hard to get injured when you're doing correct form. Have you ever seen a guy who's doing perfect form bench press and then he gets injured? Most of the time, the people that get injured, even the pro bodybuilders, it's either because they do it too much or they've been doing heavy weights. The chances of you injuring yourself doing heavy weights, even with correct form, is way higher than with lower weights. Nearly every single injury, maybe it's a fucking bicep tear, maybe you fucked up your chest, it's mainly because it was too heavy. Make sure you're actually feeling the muscle that you're trying to target. So let me give an example over here. If I'm doing incline dumbbell press, the main muscles that is meant to be worked is the front delts and the upper chest. Right? Very good exercise. I love it. But for some reason, if you're feeling your forearms more, then clearly something is going wrong. So lower the weight. And I use forearms as an example because I used to feel my forearms when doing dumbbells. So yeah, feel the mind muscle connection. Way more important than how heavy the fucking weight is. It's all relative. You have to do heavy weight compared to your strength level. So For me, let's say doing 10 kg bench press as an example, if I could do 10 reps in it, that will get me the same muscle gains as a guy that could do 100 for 10 reps. So it's all relative. The higher weight you could do doesn't mean you automatically build more muscle. Mistake number 2 is too low reps. I see this mistake the most out of any of these in this list. If you train like a powerlifter, you will look like a powerlifter. As you can see, this is an example of a powerlifter. This might be a bit exaggerated, not all powerlifters look like this, but the main powerlifters train to be strong. That's why they are called powerlifters. They don't train to look good and have a lot of muscle. And this guy probably has a lot of muscle that is pretty much hiding because he has a lot of fat, right? For example, his main exercises will be squat, deadlift, compound exercises. He's training to lift really heavy for whatever reason, maybe competitions or some shit. But you have to train like a bodybuilder. If you train like a bodybuilder, you will look like a bodybuilder. Now, if you watch this video and your goal is to have more strength gains and you don't care about muscle, then sure, go do powerlifting. But most likely, you went to the gym and you're watching this video because you want a nice aesthetic physique. If you want a nice aesthetic physique, you gotta train like a person that wants it. So you gotta train like a bodybuilder. If you want this physique, but you're training like this guy over here, then your body will have no choice to make you look more like him over there. So for example, as you can see here, you have to train your lateral delts if you want to look aesthetic. It's very important for the shoulder to waist ratio V-taper. Shoulders are very important. Bodybuilders will do lateral raises, right? I will do it as well. But do you think powerlifters give a fuck about their lateral delts? Do you think they'll do isolation, machine, cable lateral raises? No. They don't give two shits. They're trying to lift heavy. They're doing compound exercises. So priorities are different for these two. Training in the 1 to 8 rep range will not maximize hypertrophy, and I believe you should be doing 12 plus reps at least close to failure. A lot of people train like pussies nowadays and they leave 5 reps in the tank when they say, oh, it's only 1, and they're just coping. No, motherfucker, you did not train close to failure. You did not even get 5 reps close to failure. People don't know what failure is. I see a lot of people doing just, for example, bench press. They'll do 5 reps. I'm like, if you want to increase your bench press, that's great. But if you want to have a bigger chest, then what the fuck are you doing? You're meant to do higher reps. And I recommend above the average. You can say hypertrophy rep range is 8 to 12. But I recommend going 12 plus. You know why? Because I see most progress when I go higher reps. Just make sure it's not above 30. Then it's way too much. Alright, next one. Alright, mistake number 3. Maintaining or cutting. The amount of people I see cutting in their first year in the gym is ridiculous. I see this with friends, skinny or fucking anorexic. Oh bro, someone's coming up, I need to cut bro, I need the abs for the girls bro. There's no abs that you have to begin with. People think you go from fat and then when you lose a bunch of body fat you look like a trained bodybuilder. Yes, fat people have more muscle than skinny people, but most of the time the muscle on fat people is not on the places that you want it to be. So a lot of fat people might have big legs, but they won't have big shoulders. So you need to be training a lot and having a good muscle base, so when you do cut, you actually look good. For example, this is the guy here. He probably didn't cut, probably stayed skinny. But if you're someone who's a bit skinny and you cut, you might even look like this guy. It won't be looking good because you don't have muscle to start with. Why are you cutting? Unless you have top 1% genetics, even if you go to low body fat, you won't look as good since you have a horrible muscle base. So in your first 2 years minimum, go on a very very slow surplus, 50 to 100 calories, and that is the bare minimum if you want to see muscle gains. Or normal clean bulking unless you're very obese, so you have normal levels of testosterone for optimal muscle growth. So I'm going to take back what I said when I say don't cut. If you're very obese, if you're over 30% body fat, cut that shit down to 20. When you get to 20% body fat, you can stay there. If you go higher than 20% body fat, you start to destroy your testosterone levels and it starts to get converted into estrogen. And because of that, you will see way less muscle gains when you're actually fatter. So stay in the 10 to 20% body fat range. But in my opinion, you should always be bulking at your start. Thing is, I was quite fat when I started, so I was on a very very slow surplus. But if you're very obese, cut. If you're skinny, bulk. I recommend clean bulking, but 500-600 calories. And if you're average weight, you should still be doing clean bulking, but maybe less, 200-300 calories. So yeah, depending on how heavy you are, obviously. I can't make this exactly personalized to you because there's also other people watching this video. Next one. And we're done. I don't know what I was thinking when I said next one. It's only top 3 mistakes. So join a Discord server if you are on self-improvement. You need brothers on the same journey as you to get to the top 1%. Keep improving. So most likely you have a lot of loser friends from your school. And most likely they don't really give a fuck about self-improvement. And maybe you're the only guy in the friend group who only cares. So you're the sum of the 5 people you spend the most time with. So if you're spending time with these losers, then you're not gonna go up. It's just common sense. Rich people talk about money with their friends. People that bodybuild a lot talk about training and going to the gym a lot with their friends. So whatever you talk about, you will become skilled at. So do you want to become skilled at this shit video game, or do you become skilled at real life shit? That's your choice. But you need to find people on the same path and journey as you, and that's exactly why I made a completely free Discord server. So join that if you're on self-improvement. That's been the end of the video. Comment down below if you want more full guides like this, and I'll see you in the next one.